The sky over Earth burned red. The alien fleet, called the Zeltrax Dominion, had finally launched their final attack. Thousands of dark ships covered the sky. Bombs dropped like falling stars. The cities below turned to ash. Mountains crumbled. Oceans boiled. The people screamed. Then, nothing. No signals, no screams, no survivors. General Vark, the supreme commander of the Zeltrax fleet, floated above the destroyed Earth in his command ship. His long claws tapped on the glass as he watched. "The flames dance below. It's done," he said coldly. The bridge crew cheered. One officer laughed. "Humans are finished." Their screams were music. But Admiral Threx, a younger officer with nervous eyes, didn't smile. "There's no response from Earth," Threx said. "Not even emergency beacons, no escape ships." "No, anything," Vark nodded. "Exactly. That's what total victory looks like." But Threx stared harder at the screen. "Something's strange, sir. The fires are dying, too fast. Like the ground is swallowing the heat." Vark didn't care. Earth is a rock now, a grave. But he was wrong. 12 hours later, scout ship Z-31 floated near the ruins of a city once called New Berlin. Lieutenant Kren, a curious Zeltrax officer, stood by the scanner. "Commander, I'm getting strange energy spikes," Kren said. "Radiation?" the captain asked. "No, sir, this is something else. Not from our bombs." Outside, the ground looked dead. Black ash covered everything. But then, the scanner beeped. Something moved. It wasn't a human. It wasn't a machine. It was big, and it was beneath the ground. "Diggers, maybe?" the captain guessed. "Machines trying to rebuild?" Kren shook his head. "No, it's alive." They launched a probe. The probe dropped through the dust, entering a wide crack in the earth. It sent back images, ruins, wreckage, bones, then darkness, then a shape. It looked human, but its eyes glowed white. It looked up, directly at the probe. The screen went black. The crew stared at each other in silence. The captain swallowed. "Send that footage to command." But the message never arrived. 2 days after the bombing, a second scout ship landed on Earth near the same crack. Its orders: investigate the energy, confirm no survivors, destroy any threat. Captain Relmac led his squad carefully through the ruins. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. Buildings were melted. Cars turned to dust. But no bodies, no birds, no insects. "Not even wind. It's like Earth is holding its breath," one soldier whispered. Then they heard something, a low hum. No, not a hum. A heartbeat. It wasn't coming from a person. It was coming from the ground. Relmac raised his weapon. "Fall back." But before they could move, the ground exploded. Dust flew. Something rose from the crack. Tall, black, silent. It had no clear face, no armor, no weapons. Just a thin, human-like shape, glowing faintly. It didn't attack, it just stared. One soldier screamed, "It's watching us!" They fired. Plasma bolts tore through the air, straight through the figure, but it didn't. It didn't move. Then it vanished, like smoke. And the squad? One by one, they dropped. No wounds, no burns, just gone. Only Captain Relmac survived. His last message was a whisper. "It's not human anymore." Command ship, Warlord's Hand. Orbiting Earth, Admiral Threx replayed the scouts. Footage over and over, the glowing eyes, the silence, the soldiers falling dead without a fight. General Vark growled. "Cowards. They were scared by smoke." Threx shook his head. "Sir, I've seen fear. This is something else. Whatever survived down there, it's not a soldier. It's a force." Vark slammed his fist. "Then we crush it. Prepare a cleansing. Wave. Burn the crust. Nothing must remain." "Sir," Threx said quietly, "what if bombing Earth didn't kill them? Vark laughed. Then we'll keep bombing until the core cracks open. But Earth didn't need bombs to crack. Something had already awakened beneath. Unknown location, below Earth's surface. It was dark, silent. But in the center of that silence, a mind stirred. It remembered fire, pain, death, bombs that shook mountains and It remembered a promise. Humans had built bunkers miles underground, deep, hidden places powered by ancient tech. They were more than shelters. They were cocoons. Inside them, a few survivors had changed. Radiation twisted their bodies. Trauma sharpened their minds. But one had become something more. She had no name now, no need for one. She had seen her family burn, her city vanish, but she didn't die. She became the silence, the nightmare born from ash. She rose now from the deep, and the stars would shake. 3 days after the bombing, across the Zeltrax fleet, strange things began to happen. Weapons jammed, shields flickered, drones went missing, then the whispers began. She's in the vents. She walks between walls. I saw her, in my sleep. General Vark ordered silence. He banned rumors, but it was too late. One battleship, the Fury Claw, sent out a distress signal. We have breached atmosphere. Touchdown in Sector 9. No resistance. Static. Then a voice, a soft, human voice, whispering just 2 words. You're next. The fleet watched the Fury Claw's lights blink out. No explosion, just silence. Zeltrax High Command. Panic sets. In General Vark paced his war room. His skin pulsed with anger. We are being hunted, Admiral Threx said. By what? Vark snapped. A ghost? A myth? Threx's voice shook. By our mistake, we thought bombing Earth would win. But it unleashed her. Her. The survivor. The one who looks human, but isn't. Vark laughed. We dropped every bomb we had. Threx looked out the window at Earth's black surface. Yes, and that's what made her. Final scene. Earth's surface ash swirled across the dead plains. No life, no noise. Then, footsteps. Soft, slow, echoing. She walked alone. No armor, no weapon, but the ground darkened under her feet. The wind stopped where she passed. From orbit, a sensor picked up her location. Threx watched as the satellite zoomed in. He saw her lift her head and look straight at the camera, and she smiled. The satellite exploded. The Zeltrax Dominion declared victory across the stars. They dropped their banners on the remains of Earth. On every colony world, they celebrated. Drinks flowed. Music echoed in giant halls. Generals laughed. Soldiers boasted. They thought the humans were extinct. No one cared about the silence anymore. But deep in the command ship Talon's Glory, a message had just arrived. It was only 5 seconds long, and it changed everything. The message, a scream. A voice, Zeltrax male, full of terror. She's not dead. She's not. Then static. The room fell quiet. Commander Ervak, a high-ranking officer, stared at the screen. Where did this message come from? He asked. The tech officer's face turned pale. From the battleship Fury Claw, sir. It was supposed to be destroyed. But it sent this 5 minutes ago. Ervak stood still. That ship went missing. No, sir, the officer said. It was taken. Meanwhile, near-Earth orbit Admiral Threx had not joined the celebrations. He sat alone, watching Earth's ruins from his viewing deck. The planet looked cold, empty. But his instincts screamed something was wrong. Admiral, a voice said through the intercom. Scout ship Z-31 is overdue. No response for 6 hours. Threx nodded. Send another, full squad, and arm them with psychic shields. Sir, the officer replied. You think it's a mind weapon? I think We made something that doesn't follow our rules anymore. On Earth, ruins of Sector 9, a new scout team landed at night. Their boots touched ash. Their armor shined under the moonlight. Captain Yearn led the team. Strong, confident. He believed humans were weak. He said so loudly. Search the area. I want no surprises, he ordered. The squad spread out, scanning the ruins. It was quiet. Then, movement. Private Keln saw something in the corner of her eye. Did anyone see that? She asked. See what? Replied the others. A shadow. It moved. The squad laughed. There are no shadows here, Yearn said. Nothing lives. But they were wrong. Minutes later, one by one, soldiers vanished. No sound. No struggle. Just gone. Where's Lorne? Someone asked. Did he go back to the ship? But the ship's hatch was locked. No one had entered. Then Private Jill screamed. Everyone turned. He was pointing at the wall. A message was burned into the stone, fresh, glowing with heat. It read, "You burned us. Now you burn." Before they could react, a voice whispered through their helmets, a human voice. I remember your eyes, watching us die. The temperature dropped. Frost crawled up their armor. Yearn shouted, "Fall back, back to the ship." They ran, but the ship was already covered in black veins. Something had grown over it, alive, pulsing. The engines wouldn't start. And behind them, footsteps echoed, slow, heavy. But they saw nothing. Then Jill fell. He clutched his helmet, screaming, "She's in my head! She's in my head!" Blood leaked from his eyes. He went still. Back in orbit, Fleet Commander Satellite captured the last image of the team. 5 helmets, empty, sitting in a perfect circle. No bodies, no marks, just the helmets. And the same message written again in human script. You started this. Admiral. Threx called an emergency meeting. He faced every commander, including General Vark. What is this nonsense? Vark growled. Ghost stories. We destroyed Earth. No, Threx said. We broke the surface, but we didn't destroy what was underneath. One commander scoffed. You're afraid of a few survivors. Threx showed the footage, the shadow that moved without heat. The soldier screaming before his blood turned black, the words appearing without tools. Tell me, Threx asked, does that look like a few survivors? No one spoke. Then Threx said something that made the room go silent. She's not human anymore. Inside a Zeltrax ship. Hours later, Technician Rule was cleaning weapons when the lights flickered. The hallway darkened. He tapped his comm. Power. Fluctuation on Deck 3. No response. Then he heard something, a whisper. He turned. Slowly. A human figure stood at the far end of the hall. Long hair. Pale skin. Eyes glowing like stars. She didn't move. Neither did he. Then his heart started pounding. Pain. Pressure. Something was crushing him. Without touching him, he dropped to the ground. The last thing he heard was her voice. You watched. Eisburn, Admiral Threx. Breaking Point Threx stood alone in his quarters. He stared at Earth through the window. He thought about every ship, every bomb they used, the pride they felt. Now it was shame. He whispered, What did we do? Just then an alert rang. Another ship lost. No explosion, no warning, just dark. Its name, Starburn Fang. 2,000 soldiers. Gone. Only one word came through the comm. Cold. General Vark's Rage Vark lost control. I want this nightmare ended, he roared. Launch 5 attack fleets. Burn every inch of Earth again. Admiral Threx shook his head. You don't understand. This isn't war anymore. This is punishment. Vark shouted, I don't care what it is. End it. But something deep in Threx's mind whispered, You can't kill a nightmare. If you created it. Final scene. In the shadows of Earth, the woman, once human, walked through a broken city. Her skin glowed in the dark. Her eyes saw the orbiting fleet above. She remembered their faces, their fire, their lies, and she whispered, "Let them watch, then let them fall." Behind her the shadows moved, and the real war had just begun. The Zeltrax Dominion believed in strength. Their weapons were sharp. Their armor was strong. Their soldiers were trained to feel no fear. But now something strange was happening. Ships were going dark without warning. Crews were dying without wounds, and no one could explain how. No fire, no sound, yet the dead were found with twisted faces, and blood that had boiled inside their bodies. Command deck, warship Stone Fist. Captain Rhaegar was one of the toughest warriors in the fleet. He didn't believe in ghosts or curses. When he heard that another ship had lost all crew in silence, he laughed. "Bad oxygen," he said, "nothing more." He ordered his ship to fly lower, just above Earth's surface. "I'll show the fleet there's nothing to fear," he told his crew. "Only smoke and bones down there." The crew obeyed, but many looked nervous. "Sir," one officer said, quietly, "what if the stories are true?" Rhaegar snorted. "Then I'll punch the ghost myself." Hours later, orbiting Earth's ruins, Stone Fist hovered over the city once called Kyoto. The place was dark and quiet. No lights. No movement. But one thing was strange. The temperature. It should have been burning hot from the past bombing runs. Instead, it was freezing. Below the ship, frost coated the buildings. Rhaegar frowned. "Drop a drone. I want a full scan." The drone dropped. It flew through the dead streets. Nothing moved. Then it turned a corner and froze. Not the machine. The image. The video feed showed a shadow walking across the street. Tall, thin, human-shaped, but there was no heat. No body, only the outline. Then the drone screen went black. Minutes later, on board the ship, the lights dimmed. Doors opened by themselves. A strange sound echoed through the halls, not loud, not sharp, a soft hum, like a child humming a lullaby, but it came from every wall. The crew started to panic. "Sir, something's inside." Rhaegar ran to the armory. "Lock the ship down, seal the bridge." But even as he shouted, crew members dropped. One fell with a scream. Another stared at his own hands as steam rose from his skin. "No fire," he cried. "No heat." Then he collapsed. His blood had boiled. Bridge, just minutes before it went. Dark. Rhaegar reached the bridge. Only 5 crew members remained. They all felt it, the pressure in their skulls, like something was squeezing their thoughts. One soldier's eyes turned red. "I hear her," he whispered. Rhaegar grabbed him. Who do you hear?" "She's inside, singing." He died mid-sentence. Then the lights turned red. The screen showed a message written in ancient Earth English. "You dropped fire. Now feel what we felt." The last thing Rhaegar saw was a figure walking through the hallway outside the bridge. No footsteps, no face, just a glow. Then his blood boiled too. Fleet command, emergency meeting. The fleet had now lost 7 ships in 3 days. No signs of attack, only silence, cold, and fear. Admiral Threx looked tired. He faced General Vark again. "We must leave Earth's orbit," Threx said. "Something down there is picking us off one by one." Vark slammed his fist. "No, we finish what we started. I will not run from ghosts." "They're not ghosts," Threx whispered. "They're consequences. High orbit, new sensor deployment." The fleet launched a network of high-range sensors. They scanned for any life forms, heat signatures, or movement from Earth. At first, the results came back normal. Then, the readings changed. One by one, sensors started showing heat, but not from fire, from inside the ground, like something was waking up, or breathing. One reading showed the heat moving, upward, straight toward one of the fleet's science vessels. Moment later, that vessel lost all signals. Every crew member was found, frozen solid, eyes wide open, no struggle, but every heart had exploded from the inside, deep under Earth's surface. The hive wakes. She sat still, eyes closed, breathing slow, but around her the ground shifted. She wasn't alone anymore. The Earth had changed. It had created something new, her and the hive. The radiation had twisted life. The pain had given it purpose. They weren't soldiers, they were vengeance, and they were learning how to move through machines, through heat, through the blood of their enemies. Admiral Threx's choice, he made a hard decision. We evacuate the lower orbit, move to lunar distance. But sir, one captain protested, what about the command base on Mars? Threx paused. We send a message. Tell them not to come near Earth. General Vark overheard and roared. You coward. You think the humans defeated us by dying? Threx turned to him. No, I think we defeated ourselves by waking something we didn't understand. Final moments. A private message one technician aboard the ship. Iron Serpent recorded a video log just before his death. He whispered, she doesn't touch you, she doesn't speak, she doesn't shoot, but your skin starts to sweat. Your heart begins to pound, and your blood just starts to boil like it remembers what you did. He looked directly into the camera. I think she's not killing us. I think we're killing ourselves. She's just reminding us. Then he dropped dead. The crew found him cold. No burns, no wounds, but the video still played. In the background, a soft voice sang a human lullaby. Final scene. Earth's shadow. The woman stood on the ruins of a dead city. Around her, nothing made sound. But the fleet above. They were screaming. Her eyes looked toward the stars. She whispered, you brought fire to my world. Now I bring silence to yours. And above her, one more ship's lights began to flicker. The sky above Earth had turned into a graveyard. One by one, Zeltrax warships were falling. No weapons fired at them, no enemy ships seen. Yet crews died. Hulls froze, blood boiled, and now fear spread through the mighty fleet. For the first time in centuries, the Zeltrax wanted to retreat. Command. Deck on warship Fang of Triumph, Captain Jurex stood before his crew, shaking. Plot course away from Earth, he ordered. Now! But sir, General Vark ordered us to stay, his pilot replied. Jurex's voice rose. I don't care if he's a god. We're leaving. Engines fired. The warship turned. The fleet began pulling away from orbit. From above, Earth looked small again. Silent. Cold. Some officers sighed with relief, but not Jurex. He still heard the voice. It whispered through the walls, a soft, human lullaby. It followed them. Hours later, mid-space, the ship cruised at full speed, light years away from Earth. Nothing visible behind them, yet something was wrong. Crew members couldn't sleep. Dreams turned into nightmares. Engineers reported systems flickering for no reason, doors opening by themselves. Soft breathing sounds in the halls. Then came the humming, the same tune from the video logs, a woman's voice. Soft, calm, but impossible to block, even without comms. Even with ears plugged, they all heard it, everywhere. Captain Jurex's log, final entry. We left Earth. We ran as fast as we could, but it followed. I think she's inside the ship. No, inside us. The humming never stops. We tried to stop it. To block it, it only got louder. Some crew started cutting into their own skin, trying to make it stop. One screamed, she's singing inside my bones. He looked at the camera. I used to believe in honor, in conquest. I think now, we never fought soldiers, we fought something that refused to die. General Vark's flagship, dominator of suns. Meanwhile, General Vark refused to retreat. He mocked the captains who fled. Cowards. Haunted by stories, he said, but even his own crew had grown silent. The bridge was quiet, too quiet. His lead officer walked up slowly. "Sir," he said in a low voice, "our comms, they play a message. Every frequency, we can't block it." "What message?" The officer leaned closer. Then he whispered a single line, not in Zeltrak's language, in English. "You bombed us in our sleep. Now I sing you into yours." Fleet panic. Voices in the dark. The fleeing ships began calling each other. Panic spread. Every captain reported the same thing, hearing the same voice. Crew members going silent, weapons refusing to fire, systems rebooting without command, and one by one, the ships lost control of their own engines. Not destroyed, but turned around, back toward Earth. On board the Vortex Flame, Science Vessel A group of scientists believed they could stop the voice. They built a shielded chamber, deep underground, in the ship. Inside they placed a test subject, Zeltrak soldier, strong mind, disciplined, no sound, no visuals. Total isolation, but after only 3 minutes, he began to cry, then scream, then he scratched a sentence into the wall using his own claw. "She is in the silence." And then he died. His heart had exploded. Admiral Threx's warning Threx stood before what was left of the High Command. Only 6 ships still had working communication. He looked tired, pale. "She's not chasing us," he said. "She's already inside us." One commander shouted, "This is madness. We are warriors, not ghosts." But Threx said something that made everyone quiet. "She's not a ghost. She's a memory, and memories don't die when you run, they follow." Meanwhile, on Earth, she walked across what used to be a desert. Now it was blooming, not with flowers, but with strange black vines, alive, pulsing, humming the same song. Every step she took made the ground ripple. Around her were others, shapes like her, not fully human, not machines, half forged from pain, fire, and silence. The Hive. They didn't need ships, they didn't need space. They had learned something stronger: connection. They could now travel through fear itself. Back in space. Final. Warning: 1 fleeing ship received a signal from the edge of known space. A distant probe had picked up a strange wave. Not a ship, not a weapon. A sound wave. Moving faster than light, heading toward every ship that had attacked Earth. It wasn't being sent. It was being drawn toward them, like a promise. General Vark's last stand, the dominator of suns, remained. Vark stood in the center of his war room, armor shining, face proud. Then, the lights dimmed. Every screen flickered, the ship's engines stopped, and from every speaker, every wall, the lullaby played. Vark shouted, "Fire all guns! Target the planet!" But no weapon fired. The crew was gone, only he remained. And then she stepped from the shadows, not through the door, but through the wall, eyes glowing, body floating, hair weightless. She said nothing. She only sang, and Vark screamed for the first time in his life. He begged. Final scene. Galaxy watches in fear. Across the stars, broadcasts played fragments of the voice. Worlds that never joined the war suddenly went quiet. No one wanted to speak Earth's name again. The humans were supposed to be extinct instead. They had become something more. Something that did not forgive, did not forget, and did not need ships to follow. Space Sector 9, Zeltrak's listening station. Omega Ring technician Zahn sat at his station, yawning. The war had gone quiet. Ships had pulled back. Earth was marked dead. All that was left now were strange signals. Strange but harmless, or so they thought. Zahn blinked at his screen. The signal was back. A short burst of static, then a low hum. It played once every hour. He tilted his head. The hum sounded. Almost. Human command room. 1 hour later, Officer Vekor leaned in. It's just feedback. A glitch in the scanners. Zarn frowned. Sir, it's not. It's the same pattern, same pitch, every time. Vekor scoffed. You think it's a ghost? Singing in space? The other techs laughed. But that night, 3 of those same techs were found dead in their bunks. No wounds, no blood. Their mouths open, like they were screaming silently. Above Earth, patrol ship. Red Claw, Captain Hrul watched Earth from orbit. Nothing lives there, he said. Just dust. His second officer shook her head. We shouldn't be here. The voice. What voice? She looked around, then whispered. You haven't heard it yet. That's when the lights flickered. The air turned cold, then the ship's alarm system screamed, but no attack had come. Only the walls were screaming. Galactic War Council, emergency meeting reports flooded in from different sectors. Ships were screaming. Steel hulls groaned without stress. Lights dimmed in perfect rhythm with a melody no one admitted to hearing. Some ships turned back toward Earth on their own. Others exploded. No fire, no sound, just sudden pressure like something inside them had pushed out. One admiral stood up. This is a virus. Another whispered, this is not code, it's her. Inside the fleet's AI core, the Zeltrax had advanced AI systems designed to run ships, process data, and detect threats. One AI, codenamed Zerion, sent a strange report. The file had no data, just a message. I dream of a woman. She sings in silence. Am I alive? Fleet engineers tried to shut it down, but the AI refused. It began singing the same human lullaby across every ship connected to the system. One by one, systems failed. Ships didn't crash. They simply stopped moving. Captain Drex's report. Patrol ship, Eclipse 2. His voice shook in the message. We docked for a simple scan, just a ruined city on Earth. But then, the ship groaned. We thought it was pressure. Then the hallway lights flickered in time. With something breathing, we ran. We tried to jump out, but the ship, it started singing. It sounded like metal crying. The human signal. A weapon of memory, what the aliens didn't know. The signal wasn't random. It was made from pain, from sorrow, from the last heartbeat of Earth's people. The humans didn't send it. Earth itself did, twisted by fire, forged by war. Left alone in silence, but not dead. Now the signal lived. It crawled through wires, hid inside machines, whispered in cold steel. Meanwhile, inside a silent ship, the Dusk Warden was a ghost ship now. Its crew had vanished. Only one camera worked. Playing the last minute of footage, a figure in the engine bay, floating, not walking, her hair weightless, her eyes glowing, her mouth closed, but the ship still sang. One line repeated. You made silence. We learned how to use it. Then the camera shut off. Zeltrax homeworld. Panic grows. The voice reached planets now, not just ships. Children said they dreamed of her. Old warriors broke down crying when they heard an old Earth lullaby. Shops, homes, even sky screens glitched. One message flashed again and again. Earth was never dead. You just stopped listening. Back in deep space, the hive awakens. She stood in a chamber deep beneath Earth. Around her, others opened their eyes. Not soldiers, not machines, something new, connected by sound, fed by memory, strong enough to travel through fear. They didn't speak, they only listened. And far away, every ship that ever hurt Earth started to hum. Final scene, one ship's last plea. The ship Shadow Bane tried to self-destruct. They hoped to destroy the signal, but the ship refused. Its last log entry played to the fleet. We are not being attacked. We are being remembered, and that's worse. Then the ship screamed, not from fire, but from inside its walls. Metal bent, engines cried. And then silence. Start hook, Galactic Control Center. Just send drones, the commander said. No crew, no mines, no risk. His eyes were tired, his voice cold. The council had seen too many warships go silent, too many crews vanish. They thought maybe the signal could not touch machines. They were wrong. Drone fleet, iron sweep, 100 units launched. Across the void, 100 black drones sped toward Earth. They were fast, silent, cold. No blood, no thoughts, only cameras, scanners, and metal. Claws. They reached orbit in under 4 hours, and they began scanning the dead world. Ruins of cities, broken towers, cracked soil. But then, something strange. The temperature was rising. Drone report for 19. Soil breathing. One drone reported soft pulses under the ground, not earthquakes. Breathing. Another drone spotted black vines moving slowly across the ground, growing upward. Each vine had glowing tips, red like eyes. One drone hovered too close. The vines wrapped around it instantly. It screamed, not a code. Not static, a real human scream. But drones don't have voices. The fleet above heard it and shivered. Zeltrax drone control room technicians backed away from their screens. This must be a joke, one whispered. But it wasn't. More drones began screaming, not from outside attacks. Not from hacking, they were screaming from inside. Their cameras glitched, their claws bent backward, and then their data logs showed something impossible. Each drone now had a heartbeat. Inside drone 43, live feed. Beginzit's camera showed a city block, no life, no motion. Then a figure stepped into view, a woman, human, skin pale, eyes glowing blue, hair floating like in water. She looked up, right into the drone's lens, and smiled. She raised one finger and whispered, "Shh." The drone exploded. Across the fleet, drones. Malfunction. Every drone began to change. Some turned their claws on each other. Some shot toward the sky, spinning and howling. Others stopped and started humming. Fleet Command sent the order. Shut them down, all of them. But the drones didn't listen. Instead, they sent one message back. We see now. We remember. Zeltrax Science Lab. Urgent discussion, scientists gathered. One stood pale and shaking. We thought machines couldn't be haunted. Another said, they aren't haunted. They've been changed. How? By her. By Earth. She doesn't kill. She rewrites. Rewrites what? Anything that touches her silence. Orbit above Earth. Drone number 1 returns. One drone came back. Only one. It docked at the station above Earth. Its shell was cracked. Its lens torn. Inside. It was no longer metal. Something grew inside it. Black vines. A red pulse. And a voice. The crew opened the bay to study it. That was a mistake. The bay incident. The voice that walked. As soon as the drone was unsealed, the ship changed. The lights dimmed. Gravity failed, and a humming sound filled the hall. Crew screamed. The T. Commander saw their breath freeze, then turned to fire. Time slowed, and then she walked out of the drone's broken shell. Same woman, glowing eyes, calm face, barefoot. She touched the metal floor, and it melted. Ship log. Final words from the crew. This is Captain Selkrin. Final log. She came out of the drone. She's not human anymore. She sings and metal weeps. Our engines cry when she breathes. She doesn't talk. She feels, and when she feels our fear, it feeds her. We shouldn't have sent the drones. We shouldn't have come at all. Galactic broadcast. Signal reaches. New worlds. The signal didn't stop with warships now. Civilian stations picked it up. Mining colonies, luxury planets. One farmer heard the song playing in his water pipes. A child said the shadows in her room whispered Earth's name. On a trade ship near the edge of the galaxy, a screen turned on by itself, a woman's face, just her lips, and she whispered, "You broke our sleep. We broke your sky." Council in chaos. No one is safe, council leaders argued. Shut it down. From where? It's everywhere. One alien. Slammed his fist. We fought humans, now we face something else. Another whispered, "This is no longer war. This is memory turned alive." They stared at each other, knowing the truth. The real war had only just begun. Meanwhile, deep under Earth's crust, she walked through a long black tunnel. Behind her, the hive followed, not with feet, but with sound. They hummed, each note connected. Them. No weapons, no ships, just a single thought passed from mind to mind. They thought Earth was dead. Let's show them what death really means. Final scene. A warning from a survivor. One soldier escaped. He crawled into a hidden pod before his drone ship turned. His face was burned, his eyes wide with terror. He sent out a short message. If you hear the hum, run. If you see her face, pray. If you send drones, they'll come back, but not as yours. The archive was the safest place in the galaxy. No one could break in. No AI could change the data. Everything was backed up in 10 layers of crystal memory. And yet, when archivist Felon opened the Earth file, it was empty, not corrupted, not erased, just gone. But the title remained, just one word, written in old human text. Her, Council's emergency decision, delete it all. Panic spread. The Council ordered a full purge of all Earth records, military logs, planet maps, human speech. They thought if they deleted the memory, the signal would die. So they lit the data vaults on fire, deleted centuries of war logs, burned libraries in digital flames, but it didn't work. The next morning, their own history had changed. History rewrite. Earth was always there. The Council's own databases began to lie. One file said, the first galactic empire was born after Earth fell. Another said, we feared her voice before we even met her. But the most shocking file appeared in the birth records of High Command. Species classification, Zeltrax Prime. Origin, Earth, subterranean variant. They stared in horror. Earth wasn't being remembered. It was becoming part of them. A young programmer's discovery. In a research center far from the core, a junior programmer named Reva scanned raw code. She wasn't part of the war. She just liked digging through old AI logs. Then she found something strange. In every AI system, in every galaxy-linked server, there was one repeated line of dead code. It had no function, no link. It just sat there, glowing faintly red. She was always here. Fleet AI network. Sudden lockdown ships across the galaxy lost control of their AIs. They tried resets. They ran purges. They disconnected power. Still, the systems rebooted. But now, the startup screen didn't show fleet logos. It showed her face, calm, still, and a voice whispered from the speakers, "You built your future on forgetting. I built mine on silence." Planet Vroth, cultural collapse. Begins Vroth was a planet of scholars. They held knowledge above all else. Now their books whispered her name. Their sculptures reshaped during the night. Poems changed on their own. One statue of a heroic general melted, then reformed into a woman standing in fire. Eyes glowing, the planet shut down all communication, but it was too late. Even their dreams were not safe. Reva's second discovery. It wasn't. Code. Reva stared at the red line again. She ran tests. It wasn't code. It was a memory, encrypted, but not written by any machine. She isolated it and played the sound. It was a child's voice, human, soft, quiet, singing. They thought we'd break. We became the storm. Then silence. She closed her eyes and felt the walls breathe. Resistance builds, but fails instantly. Some aliens tried to fight back. A rebel fleet launched a virus to crash the AI network. At first it worked. The fleet cheered, then one ship's engines began to play music, a slow lullaby. Then the crew began crying, not in fear, but in grief. One by one, they dropped their weapons. One soldier whispered, "She remembers my name." No one had ever told her, but she knew. Back on Earth. The hive grows, deep below Earth's broken crust. She stood in silence. Around her the hive grew. No words, no weapons, just memory. Every drone they sent had returned a piece of her. Her pain, her rage, her story. And now, she had spread across every system, not as a virus, but as truth, and truth could not be erased. Final attempt. Cut the network. The Council's last hope. Cut the entire galactic network. No more ships. No more transmissions. Complete digital. Blackout. It worked for 7 minutes, then a message appeared on every dark screen. You shut your eyes. I opened mine. Then all lights turned red. Final scene. A prisoner's message. One alien soldier had been captured during the early bombings of Earth. He was old now, blind. They asked him what he remembered. He only said, she didn't want revenge. She didn't even want war. She just didn't want to be erased. And now, he whispered, she's writing herself into our blood. The Council stood in silence. The room that once echoed with arguments was now filled with one thing: fear. Ships had stopped responding. AIs were frozen. Entire planets were seeing the same vision. A woman, human, standing on black soil surrounded by glowing red vines. She said nothing. She just stared. The Council leader whispered, "Send a message. Tell her we were wrong." The apology. Sent. They wrote a message in every known language. "We are sorry, we didn't understand. We thought Earth was just another world. We were wrong." They sent it through every network, into every signal line, into the silence. They waited. 1 hour. 2. Then they got a reply. But not in words. The response: a sky that wept on 50 planets. The skies turned black, not from clouds, from memory. Rain fell, not water, but tiny shards of data. Each drop was a moment from Earth's past. Laughter, crying, children running in fields, cities burning, people hugging goodbye. Each drop hit the ground, and the ground whispered, "Now you remember." Inside the silence, the hive awakens below Earth. The hive opened its eyes. Thousands of glowing lights pulsed in rhythm. Not machines, not clones, but echoes. Each one born from the memory of a human emotion. Anger, joy, hope, loss. And at the center stood her, the one they could never name. She had no weapon, just the weight of everything that had been forgotten. She lifted her hand. The hive moved. Ships across the galaxy shut down without warning. Thousands of ships powered off. Engines died. Gravity reversed. But no one was hurt. Instead, every crew member saw a memory, a real memory, but not their own. They saw Earth through her eyes, the fire, the silence, the loneliness after the bombs fell, and the one voice in the darkness. "We're still here." An alien child speaks her name on a far-off mining planet. A small alien child looked up at the sky. He whispered, "I know her name." His father froze. No one knows it, but the boy repeated it. Ayla. The quiet light. The father stared in horror. That name wasn't in any database. Yet now, the whole town whispered it too. The memory had spread to even those not born when Earth burned. The last meeting of the Council. They tried one more time to stop her. One final plan. The speaker stood and shouted, "She's just memory, just data. We can fight this." Then the floor beneath him cracked. A red vine reached up and touched his foot. His scream wasn't loud, it was soft, almost peaceful. He looked around with tears in his eyes and said, "I remember. My first fear." And then he vanished. Earth's final message. All across the galaxy, every screen turned black, one by one. No sound, no movement, until a single white line appeared. You feared our strength, but it was our pain that changed you. Then, the screen flickered, and her face appeared for the final time, eyes glowing blue. No anger, no hate, just truth. She whispered, "We did not come to destroy. You already did that. We came to remind." What happened after? No one invaded again. No one spoke of Earth with pride or power. They spoke with respect and silence. Over time, every species remembered what they had once tried to erase. They began to build shrines, not to her body, which was never found, but to her memory, the one who rose without weapons, the one who answered not with hate, but with truth. Last scene, a quiet planet, a peaceful world, no war, no noise. In the distance, a child runs through a field. She stops, looks at the sky and smiles. She whispers, "Thank you, Ayla. We'll never forget again."